Hello everyone! So it has been a while since a video was up, and I greatly apologize for that. And I will be making a update video to that, which may either come out before this, or will come out after. But it will explain everything going on right now. So, this, if you haven't seen already, I do anime rundowns like this for the anime chat. I decided to do it with something else to get more out there, to really connect with more people and to bring them to the channel. Since I'm not all about anime, if you haven't seen some lists, I do also like video games, movies, etc. So, to help stretch everything out, I have came up with a new idea, which is like the anime chat, but instead with video games. And my main thing would be, these would be games that you can easily find on Steam, which is why it's called Steam It. I will be talking about games that I have played or will be or am playing on Steam, and most likely every game on this list will either be on Steam as of me recording, or will be coming out to Steam, or for people to play. There are some games that I may include that I have not played on Steam, but on a game system, like the Vita, DS, Xbox, PS4, whatever. But for them to be eligible on this list, they have to be found on Steam, and I have to have played most of it or completed it. And right now, I have completed this one and all the games that this series entails. And just a quick warning, there may be minor spoilers on this list that I will have to say to get the point across. Or if it's already in the information that comes with the game. But please bear with me if I may mess up on some details. There are a lot of games in this series. So, we will be talking about the Blackwell series, but in this case, Blackwell Legacy. I, as of this recording, just finished the last game in this series. There are 5. So, instead of making one list, incorporating all of them, I will be doing one by one of all 5 games, just so that each game has a spotlight, because they are all really good games. I really like them. Some more than others, but I do believe that if you are interested in getting into the games, it's better to see what they all are, instead of trying to be having all the information about the series in one go. So, the plot is basically about Rosangela Blackwell is a reporter or news writer, and she is not in college anymore. She is an adult, and she just lost her aunt. And along with losing her aunt, she finds out that she is apparently a medium, and with the ghost Joey Malone, they will have to help spirits find their way, while also trying not to get in trouble and also saving the world as we know it. So, in just like kind of explain what goes on in the games, there are different ghosts for each game, but there are some that will occur throughout the entire series, which is why you can't really start at a random one. It's better to just play them all. The setting for the first game mainly takes place in her apartment, where they would go converse, trying to figure out what their plans are, or just doing research and all that. And another plays the Void, which is where they help send spirits to move on to the afterlife. There are other locations, such as the park and a mental hospital, or just a regular hospital. I might be getting far ahead of me. But in each game, there are different locations, but the two that are the reoccurring ones are her apartment and the Void, which is actually really nice. Sorry. Because in each game, they will turn it around, and they will actually change some things up. And if I am correct, please do not quote me, the period of the 3 games all take place within at least a year or 2. And as they do this, you can see that there are things that get updated, which I will talk about later in the video. But the settings usually get different with each case. And of course, like most detective things, once they complete what they're doing, you don't need to go back there. It'll just be a hassle. The characters, I'm not spoiling anything with the characters. I'm only going to talk about the main 2, which is Rosa Blackwell and Joey Malone. Joey is kind of rude, kind of snarky, but it also goes along with what time period he's from. Because you do learn about Joey in the later games, and let me tell you, it's actually really sad to see how he became a ghost, but also to see like how he can interpret other things and technologies, because he's like from the 1950s, I believe, something like that, maybe even earlier. So there are things that are brand new to him that he learns to kind of deal with and associate with life. Rosa Blackwell, on the other hand, has lived with these, and they butt heads a lot, but they come to a pretty good understanding about that they are one team, they're working together, and they can crack jokes at each other once in a while. But they are a funny duo if you get them together. And I love Joey. And through this entire Blackwell coverage of all the 5 games, I will not stop talking about Joey. So, let's continue on, because if I keep talking, I will mention other characters that will probably spoil a lot of things. Especially your experience with trying to get with the ghosts and all that. Not get with them, but trying to help them out. The artwork and design, I can't remember when the game came out. I believed in the late 90s. And you can see that they're kind of like pixel artworks. And they do have the little headshot in the corner to show, like, oh, here's who's talking, here's how they look. And you can see that there are areas that are very beautiful, colorful, all that. And then when you come across to a ghost, the camera is really bad with picking them up, I'm sorry. But they will be kind of like this clear, faded palette. end with no legs, apparently. To, like, show that they are a ghost, they float. And their headshot is all one color palette kind of really thing. I'm really bad with art. Please forgive me. But they are kind of like just in one color scheme. And every ghost is different. And they do kind of have like the basic colors. Like they have gray, green, a purpley brown. And with that, you can really see who's a ghost and all that. The soundtrack is basically, I didn't realize it before. I am kind of playing in the background, but it's kind of fading. But the soundtrack for the Blackwell Legacy, my bad, is different than the others because the games they're short. You can get them done within a day. And this one is the shortest since it's supposed to help you get set with the mechanics of the game and to show you this is what you have to do. This is how the game is going to work. Once you understand, we can move up and make the games even longer. I think this game was about 3 or 4 hours. Maybe 5, but I don't believe so. But the Blackwell Legacy is kind of like techno music a little bit, where it changes with each area you go to, apart from the other games, which has a smooth jazz tone to it. And I feel like when I talk about the next game, you'll really see that this is the reason why they do it. Why they put jazz. So, as trying to pick which soundtrack is my favorite, Blackwell Legacy is not up there for me, just because I prefer the jazz to the techno, but it doesn't mean it's a terrible soundtrack. It just means that there aren't a lot of songs available to really become something good. And with a game as short as this, means there isn't a lot to do with the soundtrack. They just really replay songs. Now, the new part of the list that I didn't use in the other ones would be the gameplay and controls. This game, yes, it's a mystery game, detective game kind of, and it is a point and click game. So you'll have things where you have to like create a conversation with people where they give you the options, you click it, and most cases you do every option. Yet there are achievements where you don't want to do that, or else you're gonna miss them. And then there'll be things where you have to go through your notebook and click on everything and combine and make the clues yourself, kind of. And the game is basically like that. You really just have to have a mouse. And when you get into the later games, you want a tab, because it is important if you need it. But in every game, you do have the option to go through like a tutorial mode in case you forget how to do it. And I have done it with every game, and I always forget that I don't need it, because it does get annoying after a while. But in every game, the gameplay gets different. What I mean is that throughout all the games, in the first one, she uses a notepad to write down everything. And it's like the 90s, probably, in this. But as the game goes on, except for the next game, and there's a reason for that one, it basically evolves with the time period. So it goes from a notepad to a cell phone. And where you would probably have to type up something in the computer to find information about something, you would go and just use your phone on the spot, which is very helpful because you don't need to go back home to her apartment every time. Even so, it does get nerve-wracking because in the first game, you do have to remember how to spell things because you do have to type it out onto your computer, but it's not that bad, and I think, to be honest, the first game has some of my best controls with the series in general. Overall ranking. I have mentioned this a lot already in the beginning, that this game is really good, and all that. Even so, out of all 5 games, I have to give it a 7 out of 10, just because of the length of the game, and just, it kind of made me feel like I lost something a little bit. Like, I didn't get everything, but luckily, I was able to get it with all the other games. And like how I said, this game basically set everything up. It does. And I really like that. I wished that we had more ghosts to deal with. Because I think in this one, you really only deal with 2. And you deal with 2 and then something way worse at the very end of the game, which is what is very unique about all of them. Even so, this game is pretty good, 7 out of 10. Overall comments. I will say that if you would like to play this game, you can find it on Steam, where you can find all of them. They are now all on there. When I first got it, Epiphany wasn't on there. Now it is. Games 1 through 4 are on there for about $5, or if you get the bundle, which I did, you get all 4 games. Epiphany is going to be a little bit more since it's way newer and the last one. But speaking as this game in a whole, if you want a quick game to see if you like a series, if you like ghosts, mysteries, a very cocky character, check out Blackwell Legacy. And until the next time with the next thing, have fun on Steam.